What's up, guys? It's Ryan Norberg. I just want to start off this video by saying thank you to you guys for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate the support. There's tons of comments on my last video. You guys watched it a lot, and I was really thankful for all of the feedback you guys gave. I'm really excited to post some more videos now. It just kind of re-inspired me to post some more stuff. So thank you guys for that. You guys gave me, just off of the last video alone, I think I got 150 subscribers, so that was really cool. Today we're going to go over a race that I thought was really fun. It was one of my closest races this season. It was the SKUSA Summernationals, the Sunday final. We ended up losing the race by like 0.02 seconds to the leader, but it was a really exciting race. And so in this video, I just kind of want to go over the things I could have done differently to have benefited my race and just the mistakes I made throughout it. I kind of want to just give you guys some advice on how it is when you're racing at the front of a pack, because it is different than racing mid-pack or towards the back. So I just kind of want to go through some of the strategies I'm using, some of the techniques I'm using while I'm out there, and then just some of the mistakes that I made. There's a lot of stuff I did during the race that I think would have changed the outcome or would have definitely benefited me later in the run. So the first thing I want to talk about is the starts. A lot of my races are determined from the start. If you can get a good start and you can pull a cart length just off the line, you don't have to block for turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. If you don't have to do that and everybody else is blocking and racing hard, you can pull in that first lap 7, 8 tenths. I've done it at multiple races, and so the start is very, very important. I want to break down kind of my starts at some point and do a video on it. It's kind of hard because there's a lot of stuff that I don't want other people to know in it, and there's a lot of stuff that I kind of keep secret. But something that is obvious and is difficult about starting outside of me is that all of my starts are different in some way. With SKUSA, they have the start box, so it's 2 cones, and the leader gets to choose when to accelerate within the 2 cones. And so for me, just something that I do that would benefit a lot of people is just keeping it unpredictable. If you start both races at the same spot, or you start all your races in the same spot, the outside pole can anticipate it and time it and can contend with you all the way to turn 1. If you decide when you hit the gas as you enter the box, it's better because you're not totally sure when you're going to get on it, so the guy in second clearly doesn't know when you're going to get on it. So if you do this and just keep things unpredictable, it can definitely give you a better shot at getting that gap into turn 1, getting a little bit of a lead so where you don't have to block for 2 and turn 3 and turn 4. And you can pull about 7 tenths, you can get a good enough gap that where you don't have to, block for the beginning of the race. It stretches the field out and it gives, you some breathing room. So instead of it being an 8-cart battle off the line, it's only a 3-cart battle. Or, you can go all the way till halfway before the guy can even catch you back up. So it's just a good technique that you can learn and can definitely change the outcome of your race. So you can see there I hit the gas about, just as we got into the box. Ended up not having the best start that I wanted. I had to defend into 3 there. And clearly now you've got drivers on you. Entering into 4. And this is where Jarskrak goes by. Musgrave goes with them. And now this is something else that you kind of have to stay with when you're racing at the front. You got to keep this in the back of your mind. When you have a dominant week, which we did up to this point, we had won every race, qualified really well, but we had won every race and kind of checked out from everybody. When you're having a good week and when the other drivers know that you're fast, the strategy that is used at almost every race on me and the strategy that drivers use normally is you just kind of want to bully the guy in first. You want to make him overdrive. You want to make him overheat his tires. You want to get in front of him as fast as possible. Block him so that some other guys can get in front of him. You want to fluster that guy and kind of work him up. It's something that has been done to me a lot this season. There's a ton of races where I start in pole and end up back in 8th, 9th, and then have to come back through. But it's just something that everybody does. They just try and get in front of you and fluster you. Here you can see Jarskrak saw an opportunity. It was a good pass. Went to the inside, got in front of me, and he's just trying to stay in front of me and get me flustered out the gate. And you can see Musgrave, same thing. I mean, they both have the same kind of game plan going into this. Musgrave tried to get to the inside. He kind of stuffed it in there, worked his way in front of me. But now I got 2 drivers in front of me. At this point, I'm telling myself, stay calm. You know, there's not. It's a 25 lap race. You know, it's a long track. I noticed this. I've dealt with it before. Stay calm. You know, keep your head with you, and just get ready to attack for the rest of the race. Really, I'm not looking to pass at this point. I'm just going to try and stay behind these guys. I know throughout the week my faster times have been at the end of the run, and I know that on these 2 drivers, my late run speed is a lot better than theirs. So for me, it's not so important to get back to the lead. My kart is set up for the long run. I'm anticipating, kind of battling a little bit in the beginning. So, you know, at this point, just trying to keep my head calm, keep everything good, make sure the tires don't overheat, don't overdrive, don't panic. Just going through the list of things that, you know, I gotta keep underneath it. If by chance there is an opening, I'll definitely look for it, but not gonna risk anything this early in the run, you know, especially when the race is so long. There you can see we driving through some grass. You know, it's just something you got to be aware of when you're out there. It's if you see that there's grass on the track, especially it's more difficult for the leader, but if you see there's grass on the track, you know, take it easy. It's the second lap, so definitely in turn 1 and turn 2, it's going to be a little dirty. It's something you got to watch out for. There, got a little bit aggressive in the brakes. Went in a bit too deep. Definitely something I shouldn't have done. Mistake on my end there. Doesn't help with the drop down bumper, you know, it's never the best. Here you can kind of see Musgrave's making a few mistakes. Now at this point, when you see he's hitting the curb, he looks as though he's starting to overdrive. And so this is something that I'm noticing and going, all right, I need to get in front of this driver. Again, there's the bully tactic kind of coming into play again. He knew I was going to make the pass, went in extra deep, actually ended up hitting Jarskrak. It's frustrating, but it is what it is. You know, you can't do anything when you're in this position. A lot of these drivers are just trying to bully you through. Musgrave now knows that I'm there and I'm pressuring him, so he's going to try and get some distance between us two. Tried to follow through. Jarskrak just kind of pinches me down. It's the same kind of tactic. I mean, everybody is kind of doing it. They don't want you in front of you, especially when I had the speed alone the whole week. A lot of them just need you behind them, and it benefits the race a lot more. So, yeah, right there you see Jarskrak just kind of turned down. It is what it is. It's a hard race, you know. You can't get flustered by little stuff like that. Right here you see Jarskrak point. It means he's either going to go on this straightaway or he's going to go on the next one, and he's looking for help to come by. He knows that Musgrave is driving a little bit more aggressive, so he knows he might need some help to get through. And that's something else you see that the East Coast drivers do, where the West Coast drivers don't understand really about this track. Growing up here, Jarskrak and I have both raced this track a lot through the years, and we know that it takes two to really do well at this track, and it takes two drivers to kind of work together. The West Coast drivers don't know that necessarily about this track because they don't really have the experience that we do here. So when you're pointing, just communicating, trying to let the guy behind you, in front of you know what you're going to do, just kind of builds a nice relationship between the two drivers while you're out there, and it can end up benefiting you in the long run. So that was something really cool that he did that really helped him and helped me through the race, because now I've decided that Jarskrak's willing to work with me. He's clearly just shown that he wants me to help him. So I decided for the next few laps here, I'm just going to push him, try and stay behind them, try and stretch the gap out from the guys behind us. Now, if I look back and I don't see that gap's really improving, or we're not pulling away like I thought we would, definitely I'll go by. But right now, there's no immediate threat to get in front of Jarscrack, so it's worth the experiment. It's worth trying to see if this is going to work. If it doesn't, it's okay. Just go back to the lead. But it's worth the shot right now, so that's what we're going to do for the next couple laps. I'm going to skip to where it gets interesting because it's just us driving around in tandem for a while. So yeah, look to the inside, going up the hill. Jarscrack lets me have it. He knew that I've been working with him for the first couple laps, so no real problem there. Again, throughout the whole week up to this point, I've been pretty fast on my own, so it was something that I really wanted to try and get out front and do. Another thing too is when you're behind for somebody for too long, the tires overheat, the engine overheats, and especially with the new nose cones that the karts have, you kind of get an aero push. So it's something you want to get in front, cool everything back down at some point. Even if it's just for a lap, it's better than letting everything just kind of overheat. And I think for this, I just kind of drive around for a few laps, so I'm just going to skip to the next interesting racing point. So you see there, mistake. I actually made a few other mistakes, dropping tires. It hurts you. That'll cost your race there, and for me, I feel like that cost my race. I pulled a little bit of a gap, and then a few mistakes right back in the draft. Jarscrack goes back to the point. Just let him have it at this point. It's still really early in the race. I don't even think we've passed halfway. The track is a minute something long, and you add 25 laps, and you're on track for a long time. So, again, there's no real need to panic for any of these things. Jarscrack's back in the lead. Again, back to second really isn't that bad. Gonna try and work with them some more and just keep pushing them and seeing how this will go. I know there's some immediate pressure from behind, but before it worked when we were kind of pushing together and pushed away. So we're gonna try that again. So we've pushed Jarscrack for a few laps. Now Musgrave back to the lead. I mean, not back to second. I probably should have gone back to the lead at that point and tried again, knowing that I had the speed and I just made a few mistakes. If I could have just stayed calm, I probably could have done well. I ended up staying behind, and now I'm getting past. Now getting past again, falling back to fourth. And at this point, it's not time to panic, but it's time to get up on the wheel. I mean, this is time to start moving back forward. You never want to fall out of the top three, the top two. Once you get outside of that, you're kind of at the whim of everybody else. So now Bertignolli goes to second. Musgrave again turns down. It is what it is. It's getting frustrating at this point, especially when everybody else is kind of driving, letting you by, and it's clean racing. You have one guy who's just kind of being a little more aggressive, but it is what it is. If that's your driving style, that's your driving style, and that's what you want to do. More power to you. At this point, you can see the drivers behind us are stacking up, causing a little bit of trouble for me. Now you can see these drivers are racing really hard. They're battling. Definitely want to get in front of them, especially because I see there's drivers catching us from behind. This racing is not helping my race at all. So now I'm really wanting to get by Musgrave. Gonna look to the inside of the hairpin. He waves me by that time, but yeah. Getting frustrating. Waved him goodbye. Didn't like the way he was racing that race. I don't have anything against Billy, but I was frustrated with this race. But now we're catching the leaders again. The two guys are kind of checking out, so it makes it a bit more difficult when they're together in tandem. But I know I have the speed. I know I just got to put in some good laps, and I can catch back up to them. Get onto the back straightaway. Bertignolli kind of understands that he's lost that lead that he had, pushing Jarscrack. So he's going to go to the inside. I'm going to throw it down with him. Jarscrack lets me through. It's a good move. Now I'm going to try and work with Bertignolli. Now it's time to keep keep this effort to try and pull away somewhat. We still have, I think, 6 laps left in the race. You could pull enough of a gap where it's a 2-car battle, and you don't really have to fight all the way to the end. So we pushed them for a few laps. Now we're getting towards the end of the race. I think there's 3 or 2 laps to go at this point. Dropped a tire right there, and that's going to cost me a lot of time. Bit of a slide now. Now he's got 3/4 tenths, 5 tenths of a second lead. Quite a big gap, especially with like 3 to go. You don't want that. That was a bad mistake on my end that is really going to kind of affect my outcome of the race. But the straightaways at this track are so long, you can make up that gap in three laps, especially if you push super hard. So right here you see I'm giving it my all, braking as late as I can. Missed the apex a little bit there, but going for it as hard as I can. At this point I don't have anything to lose. The race didn't turn out the way I was anticipating it, so 2 to go. It's time to push, it's time to dig. Nothing super exciting going on, just really focusing on making up the time. We're back on them basically now, and so now it's basically a strategy of when do I want to go to the lead? I want to do it on the last lap, at the end of the lap? Do I want to lead all the way to the line, or do I want to pass earlier and kind of control the race on my end? Or at this track you really need to kind of decide your plan before you go into it. Again, I didn't anticipate the race going like this. On my end, I didn't think I'd need to figure out a plan. But because I've pushed for so long, I need to get at least close enough to him to get a chance at the win. Here, I'm setting up a pass, deciding I'm going to go on the straightaway to the white flag. Tuck to the inside. Now I have the lead. You can see I lifted a little bit to try and keep him beside me going into the first corner. And at this point, it's pretty simple. You just block till the line. I mean, there's nothing more to do. If you don't block, you're going to get passed. If you overblock, you'll probably get passed either way. So at this point, try and block as hard as you can without scrubbing as much speed as possible. The biggest thing you have to watch out for, though, is when you're driving down the inside of every corner, you're going to get a lot of lag on your tire, and that is really going to affect your run, in those last couple corners there. So something to keep in mind when you're blocking like this, make sure to brake a little bit earlier just in all the corners so that you have that ability to slow down, because if you have lag in your tires, you're definitely going to slide off the track if you brake late. Down the inside, trying to give enough space that I can still get a good run going on the straightaway, but really wanted to close that door. Here, go down all the way to the inside, get on the gas late just in case any driver's trying to get an over-under. And this is where I made a big mistake. You see, I blocked into the corner and then I didn't come down all the way, and that's where Josh Crack slid in and took the win. Basically, if you're going to block, you need to block all the way. And that happened in the first lap. I didn't learn. It happened again in the last lap. And that cost me the race. I mean, it was only 0.02 of a second, I think. But it's close, If I would have come down and closed that door, Josh Crack might have had to check up, had to do something. And when you're dealing with that close of time, any little different could have changed the outcome. So, that was definitely something that I should have done better. If you're going to block, you need to block the whole track. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate the support you guys have given me. Comment what other videos you kind of want. I've got some ideas of what I want to do. I want to post just some more of my races because you guys seem to like just the race with no commentary. I enjoy doing these because I get a lot of feedback that people are learning from this stuff. And so I might just post this video just outright just so you guys can watch that as well. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and on Facebook. Make sure to like and subscribe to the video. Comment any opinions that you have. Thanks for watching the video again. See you guys next time.